Stephanie here with Minimalist Mom Life. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a video I talked about in my last video, and that is my favorite budgeting tips. And there are wonderful tips out there from great people, and they're all different. But these are just a few of my favorite. No particular order, no particular season to what you're doing with your finances, whether you're getting out of debt or you're out of debt and you're saving your 6 months emergency fund, or if you're past that and you're just in the building wealth and giving. I think these tips kind of apply like no matter where you are. And so these are my 3 favorites, and let's jump right in. I've got some crazy lighting, the sun is setting, but this is the time that I get to do it without any kid interruptions, hopefully. So let's get right to it. My number 1 tip, and again I mentioned this in my last video, which if you haven't checked that out, I will link it at the end of this one, is beware of small purchases. So one of the things that I encounter a lot with people is that if you go on a vacation or you can afford to go on a mission trip, people think, oh, you have so much money, and wouldn't that be nice? And I would love to get to do that, but we can't do that. Or you talk about travel and someone's like, well, it's my dream to go to Paris, but we'll never be able to afford that. Or we would never be able to put our kids in private school, or whatever the case is. They have a never to something that they say they want to do that is a bigger purchase, right? And oftentimes, what I think people don't realize is that if especially my family, I can tell you for sure, when we're saying yes to bigger things, like travel is a big thing in our family, so that's something that we really, really prioritize. We're saying no a ton of the time so that we can say yes to that. And so where people feel like it's just a Starbucks coffee every time I go to Target, or it's just an extra $10 in the Target dollar spot, or I tried 5 different new mascaras last year and I could have just kept the same one, or whatever it is, those little purchases that you think, oh, it's just a little treat here and there, and I never do anything big for myself, so I can do ... Or, oh, I want my kid to have a new Easter basket this year, even though they have a perfectly fine one. All of those little purchases seriously do add up. And if you want to know how bad they add up, next time you go to Target, look at your receipt, and if you have anything on there that you didn't actually need, calculate that, and then times that how many times you go to Target, and then look at how many times that probably happens in a year, and you would be shocked at how many hundreds of dollars you are throwing away in small purchases. Again, nothing wrong with sometimes deciding to get the Starbucks coffee or splurge or whatever, but know that sometimes saying yes to all those little things is what's causing you to have to say no to the thing that you really want to do. So being really intentional with what you're saying yes to. My recommendation for those small things is have a part in your budget for that. So give yourself $50 a month or $25 a month. That is just your blow money for whatever it is you want that is random like that. So it's your Target dollar spot money, or maybe some of you love Dollar Tree so much. So maybe it's your Dollar Tree money that I have $20 a month that I can go to Dollar Tree and get whatever random little things that I want. Whatever it is, but you're being intentional with it so that you're not falling into this victim mentality that I can't afford those nicer things, or I can't ever afford to do that. No, you could if you stop saying yes to all those small purchases and say no to them, and then save that money. You could probably say yes to the stuff that you really want to do, and I promise it is worth it. And once you get a taste of doing what you really want to do, it will not be nearly as hard to say no to all those things that you kind of want. So being really intentional with those small purchases. If you have a budget, it'll help you not go over them. I know a lot of people, myself included, this happens at the grocery store. My regular what we need is fine, fits in the budget. But then I'm like, oh, that snack sounds good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. And then before you know it, you've surpassed what you meant to spend at the grocery store because you've said yes to a whole bunch of little things. And none of those were what you really needed. None of those were what was actually going to make the meals that you're going to feed your family. But it was all the extra little treats here and there. So being intentional with those small purchases, making sure that you have a budget for them, or you say no to them altogether. And then remember that you're saying no for a reason now, today, so you can say yes later. So Dave Ramsey has a quote like, children do what feels good, and adults devise a plan and follow it. And so I definitely think that applies to the small purchases. You can just do what feels good all the time, or you can be really intentional and have a plan for what you want your money to do, and then go after that plan. My second tip is look at the percentages of what you're spending. So I'm a math nerd when it comes to money. So this may only be interesting to me, but I think it is really neat. And this is the time of year to do it, because if you haven't done your taxes, you're about to. So you're about to look at what's on your W-2s, what is your actual income. Some people don't even know their income, but you're going to look at what you made last year. You're going to get back all of your giving receipts from your church or whatever charity organizations you give to. So you're going to be able to compare the two to see how much you're giving every year. You can look back at your IRA contributions if you're contributing to your 401k, whatever. You're going to get all of these statements right around this time of year to be able to look at how much am I spending in each category. So how much of our $60,000, let's say, are we giving to retirement? How much are we giving to church? How much are we doing this? And then map it out from there. Like, is it the percentages that you want it to be? Does it surprise you how much money you spent on food last year? Does it surprise you how much money you spent on clothing last year, or you spent on your kids' sports, or you spent on books or entertainment or Hulu or cable or your cell phone bill, whatever it is? Have an idea what those percentages are and make sure they're what you want them to be. Remember, you're the one making your budget. You're in charge, right? You're in charge when you make that budget. So look at the percentages and make sure they're what you want them to be and have a good idea of what it looks like. My third tip is maybe not a fun one, but I think honestly it's kind of a freeing one. And that is to, I hear children, but my husband is with them. That is to act your wage. And so I think, I don't know, Dave Ramsey or somebody even older than him has coined this phrase, but just the idea that, like, live within your means. I think a lot of people in my generation feel like as soon as we got married, we should have everything that our parents had. So we should live in the same neighborhood as our parents. Our car should be as nice as our parents. Our furniture should be new like our parents. We should be going on vacations like our parents do, et cetera, et cetera. But our parents are, 25, 30 years older than us, and they've worked for that before they got to that point. So act your wage and don't be ashamed. Like, you don't have to make six figures ever to have a really nice life. Like, you can have a nice life where you are. And this comes from the point that I'm always talking about, but contentment, y'all. Like, if you can get to a place of contentment in your heart, which if you're a Christian, Jesus, if you're not, Jesus, then you're able to say, hey, I have enough and I'm happy with this. And so I don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Other people can have more than me. Other people can have better than me. The Pinterest houses cost a lot of money. And the YouTube houses of these people that have all this new stuff all the time and decorate for all the seasons and do all the things, maybe they make more money than you do, and that's okay. Maybe their husband has a better job. Maybe he became a doctor. Maybe whatever. Maybe it doesn't matter why they're in a different situation than you are. You're in the situation that you are, and it's your choice to be happy with that situation or to not be happy with the situation. It's also your choice to change it. I mean, you can change careers. Like, I get that you can make more money, but I'm not here to tell you to hustle. That's really not my thing. I'm here to tell you to be content where you are in your wage. Sure, it's nice to make more money, but it's also nice to live where you are. You actually, if you're watching this, you have internet, you're doing a lot better than most of the world is doing. So I want to just encourage you to act your wage and be proud to be living in your age. It's okay to have used furniture. It's okay to not go on fancy vacations for many, many years. It's okay to not buy a house right away. My parents didn't buy their first house until I was 11 years old, and they had been married I think close to 20 years at that point. So, I mean, it's okay. Like, it doesn't all have to happen right now. You can be content in the wage and in the situation that you are. You can enjoy it, and if you can love it here, you can love it there. But if you're constantly thinking the grass is greener over there, you're going to get there and the grass is not going to be greener because, y'all, the grass is greenest where you water it. So be content in acting your wage. It's not something ever to be ashamed of. You are doing wonderful. Be grateful. Jesus loves you. And I will wrap this up now. I'm going to talk to y'all in my next video. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new. Thanks, y'all.